Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Everton against Arsenal live watch-along in the Premier League this Saturday lunchtime. I hope you're all doing well. Bacon sandwiches, if you like bacon, maybe you've gone vegan, maybe just having some soup. What are you doing? It's a lovely day here in the UK, but I feel rubbish. Better than I did yesterday though. Bit of, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Don't know whether it's hay fever or whether it's actually a cold, but feel a bit better today, but sound a little bit worse. So there we go. But yeah, hope you're all doing really well. Everton again. Tarkowski's play. Apparently Tarkowski's had a load of death threats and stuff like that. People take it too far. They take it too far. It's not his fault he didn't get sent off, is it? You know, people take things too far. Should have been sent off. Bad tackle, but come on. Get real, everybody. So, yeah, and of course, we will be live on Tuesday night, won't we, as well, for Arsenal against Real Madrid. So preparations for that are very important too, of course. So, yeah, thanks to everyone who is getting involved and tuning in. Really appreciate that. 20th title on the way, says Durand. Mate, I don't know what you're talking to me about. I'm not taking... You're all Billy Big Bollocks now, aren't you? Oh, 20 times, 20 on the way now. You weren't saying that when I said it in December. I said you're going to win the title in December. No, stop trying to reverse psychology. I told you you're winning the title in December, and I was right. I told you Arsenal were out of title race in November, and I was right. So, this is not a surprise for me. I think Liverpool deservedly win. Well, no. I'll give a bit of credit. They deserve to win the league. They're going to win the league. It's been a fact for a long time. Come on, you Blues, says Solskjaer Biddy. Hopeful but not realistic. Up the Toffees, I think he's saying. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the Arsenal bench. Saka's on the bench. Let me just go through the team, actually. There it is on the pitch, on the screen for you there. I probably should have a look at this. Let's have a look. Everton lineup we've done. Saliba does start. Kivior, Lewis Skelly, White, Raya, Marino, Jorginho, Rice, Wanyeri, Trossard and Sterling. Martinelli on the bench, Saka on the bench, Partey on the bench, Timber on the bench, Odegaard on the bench. I think there's a little bit of rotation there because of Tuesday night, and I think having lost Gabriel the other night, you can sort of understand that. Makes a lot of sense to do that, if I'm being completely honest. But I'd still expect Arsenal to win this. But Arsenal, spoke to Robbie yesterday on the channel. Last Goodison game, isn't it? Everyone's going through that now. And look, when you look at the league table, there is, there's still elements of, what would you call it? Jeopardy, I suppose. Let's have a look at the top 10. I mean, look, Arsenal should finish second. I don't think that's under any real danger. Having said that, if they were to lose and Forest were to win in the half-5 game, which we're doing as a watch-along, then you never know, do you? So I think Everton themselves... Look, Everton are at the end of the table where Man United are, and a win for Everton today would put them level with Manchester United and above Spurs. There's West Ham, Everton and Spurs on 34 points, then United are on 34. So if you finish at the bottom of those clubs, you're 9 million down. If you finish at the top of those four, you're 9 million up. And I think it's probably the first season I've really sort of taken any notice of that, because United are terrible. But you get £3 million for every place you position in the Premier League, and if you are an Everton or a West Ham or a Man United or a Spurs, there is a clutch of clubs there, 4 or 5 clubs. If you finish at the top of those, it's 12 million quid. It's significant in the FFP and PSR days of modern football. So there is still stuff to play for there. It might not be exciting for Everton fans, but it's still 6, 9, 12 million pounds, isn't it? And it makes a big difference. Mark's voice sounds weird today because he's had a very, very bad cold and is still recovering from it. So, yes, I'm not wearing lipstick either. I genuinely believe it's hay fever that I've got because my lip colour changed. My nose is running. My eyes were running last night. So, get the bum injection, says Bad Poems. I think I'm going to get it, yes. I think I will do. What's your starting 11 for 25-26, is Alan? Mate, come on. Be fair to me. I feel dazed anyway and drowsy because I'm taking pills. And you're asking me to give a Man United 11 in 25-26. Don't bloody know, mate. I've got no idea. Absolutely none. I haven't got any idea. I don't know what the budget is. I've got no idea at all. No, to be fair to Alan though, it's probably the first time I can't even predict. Oh, here we go, 1-0. Oh no, good block. Should have been 1-0. Should have been 1-0. Are my eyes deceiving me, or is Raheem Sterling starting for Arsenal? Surely not. He is. It was Raheem Sterling. Absolute shit. Absolutely shit shot, that is. I mean, he can go to the right of the player, the left of the player, and he hits it at the player. Yeah, he needs studying, he does. What a drop-off. What an absolute drop-off. He is rubbish. Man United's under 18s are 9-0 up at half-time against Leeds. That is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. How bad are Leeds? How good are United? That is crazy. Do you think Rasta Mouse, I've got no idea what you're talking about P6 or Yuki. Got no idea. Is it F1? I'm not interested in F1 again. It's crap. Boring again. McLaren are going to win it easily. There's no way Verstappen's car's good enough. Ferrari are shit. Another boring year in F1. I try to get interested in it every year, and the same thing happens. There's always one car that's just way better than every other. And until F1 sorts that out, it'll be boring. Really boring. Pat says, I can't wait for Arsenal to completely dominate and then lose. They've started off really well here, Arsenal. Like, really well. They're carving Everton open like a well-moist turkey at Christmas. With a sharp knife. Chris says, I just had a Gary Neville advert for Marriott Hotels when I clicked on this video. Well, what do you want me to do about it, Chris? I'm not head of YouTube commercial monetisation. I've got nothing. I don't choose the bloody adverts, mate. Maybe they've got a campaign going. How far do you think United will get in the Europa League, says Sanjif? I think we'll win it. I think we'll win it. Lando is the Arsenal of F1, an absolute bottle job, says Rasta Mouse. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Thanks for joining me and keeping me company in the game today. I feel a lot better, but I've got that like headache now and my throat's dry and I don't like being ill. I mean, breaking news, don't like being ill. Thing is though, people say nobody likes being ill. I've got to be honest. First couple of days of a temperature when you're cold, when I hated school, I could deal with it, you know. Mum would go down the shops and get me a bottle of Lucozade, could watch what I wanted. Always on the sofa with the ill blanket, milk it, get a week out of it, great. Don't like it now though. Chris says, I found it funny that he was the boring ad and you are the main event. Yeah, it happened to us in the Euros last year. Like, in the Euros last year, most adverts, I don't know whether anyone can remember, were Coca-Cola or Coke Zero or something like that. I think sometimes, like, campaigns happen, don't they, that are, and they probably look at That's Football and go, it's the best football community in the world. We want to hit that community. I think that's how it works, doesn't it, with ads? I suppose it's like putting it in the middle of Coronation Street, isn't it, you know? It's not a bad idea. Nice hotels, Marriott hotels as well. Good cross, head way by Pickford. I've got an early either or for you, actually. Just reminded me. What was it? I know what it was. Saliba, Van Dijk. Who would you sign? Who would you sign? Considering Van Dijk's in his 30s, I know you might think he's better, but who would you sign? Saliba or Van Dijk? Obviously, Saliba's a lot younger. Alan Casey says 3-5-2, Anana, Yoro, Delit, Martinez, Bruno Agarte, Cunha, Ahmad, Dorgu, Xerxes, David. Ooh, it's not unrealistic, mate. I like Cunha in there. Bottle of Lucasade is so relatable, says Monty. I don't want to take... I mean, look, we like to do watch-alongs, get involved. Amazing community. Loved the show the other night, by the way. It's really helped me with my American trip. So I'm planning an American trip. I'm not going to tell you when because I want to surprise you all. But I was basically saying 3 cities to visit because I am going to certain cities for work anyway. But I want to have while I'm there, I want to do a little bit of traveling. So people basically Boston, Chicago, and I think Atlanta came third. New York I'm going to anyway. And a lot of people said Nashville, actually. Oh, Everton on the attack. Cleared away. Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Talking of which, I doubt we've got the head of NBC watching the show, but if you want to sort out a meeting, I'll be over there soon this year. Any brands or anything? I'm thinking, what big American... Budweiser. Budweiser's fell off in the UK. Link up with Goldbridge. I tell you what, when I lived in Dublin, I was in Dublin for my show a couple of weeks ago. Dublin's a great city. I love it, but it's a drinking city as well. They like a drink, and obviously it's the pubs are very popular in Dublin. What's on tap in Dublin pubs is quite interesting because obviously there's a lot of pubs, and when I say on tap, it's like, what beers do they have? When I lived in Dublin 25 years ago, Budweiser, you could get a pint of Budweiser every pub. Every pub had Budweiser on tap. None of them have it now. I don't know what's gone on. So yeah, I think a lot of them do have Coors, but none of them have that now. Big up as always, Mark, says Man United Hodge. Big up, mate. Hope you're doing well. What's wrong with my voice? I've had really bad hay fever attack yesterday. My nose got bunged up, and I think my vocal cords are probably a little bit messed up. So Budweiser is crap. I haven't drank it in ages, Daniel. I tell you what, this is a good game. Good tempo. I think it plays into Arsenal's hands, though. Remember, Robbie went with a draw. I went Arsenal win. Good play. It's a very open game. Super Kevin Campbell. I can't believe Kevin Campbell's dead. What a lovely guy Kevin Campbell was as well. I met him a couple of times. A really nice guy. Good footballer as well. But I can't believe he died. Nice to see the tribute because obviously he played for Arsenal as well. People who died that you forgot were dead. That's a good one. Or people who were alive that you thought were dead. Somebody died last year. I thought they'd been dead for 6 years. Can't remember who it was. They died. And I was like, I thought they'd been dead for about 6 years. So in a way, it's a bonus for them, even though they are now dead. It's like going to a wedding and seeing Uncle Frank and going, no, that's not how it works. It's like going to a family wedding and somebody saying Uncle Frank died last week and going, I thought he died about 10 years ago. Bonus for Uncle Frank. And then everyone looks at you funny because they are sad that he's dead. And then you try and justify it by going, no, but I thought he died 10 years ago. So what I'm saying is, he only died a week ago. He got 10 years more than I thought. I know you're all sad, but in my mind, he died 10 years ago. Since it's Saturday, either or, pints or wine, says Howder. I like these questions. Get your either ors in. If it's a nice hot day, you can't beat a cold beer. Corner to Arsenal. Goal, off the line by Branthwaite. Good corner. This is what annoys me about Man United, you know. Like, our corners are crap. That's such a good corner, that is. Why can't Man United put corners in at pace like that? Branthwaite did really well. It's got loads of dip, loads of height, loads of curl, and it's going in. And you know, Man United, they always do the little dinky corner, don't they? Yeah, if it's cold, I like a nice cold... Sorry, if it's warm, Howder, I like a nice cold beer. I'm a seasonal drinker, so in the winter, I like my red wine. I like my, you know, maybe a whiskey, maybe a Guinness. And then as it gets warmer, I'm into my beers and you know, maybe even a gin and tonic, you know. Never a rosé. Nothing wrong with if you're a bloke and you drink rosé, but you can buy it yourself. That's not. You can't cancel me for that. If I'm in a beer garden and I'm going round the lads, pint, cider, pint, glass of rosé, you're going to the bar. I'm not ordering you a glass of rosé. Why? Do you think it's effeminate? No comment. You're not catching me on that one. I just don't buy rosé. Forget it. Penelope says, I know you have a little soft spot for Wednesday. Protests going on about our owner who hasn't paid for the players. Wednesday facing ruin. That's horrible, Penelope. Oh, if I can help out, let me know. I'll retweet it and stuff like that. I don't like rosé wine anyway. It's too bloody sugary. Too sweet. Sterling. He's so crap. I mean, the drop-off of Sterling needs to be studied. It's unbelievable. The guy's only 29. He's 30 now. It's just incredible how bad he is. Van Dijk's got 56% of the vote and Saliba's got 44% of the vote. Well done on that one. I've got another one for you, don't worry. Either or. Raya or Alisson. Thanks for your super chats, Penelope and Howder. Appreciate that. Look, whether I liked Raheem Sterling or not as a Liverpool and Man City player, probably not. But there's no doubt he's a good player. But where he's gone over the last few years, last 18 months, it's terrible. Inter versus Bayern, who will win, says Mohammed. I will give you the definitive winner in that. Let me just double check. There's one stat I want to check here. Yeah. Inter will beat Bayern. Inter will beat Bayern. They've not lost in their last 5 league games. I don't think Bayern are as good as people think they are. And I think Inter are, well, I think they're better. Let's do an either or, because Alisson's beat Raya. Let's do it. Let's do a poll on it. Who wins? You decide. Goal! Oh my God! Who did an Everton player clear it off the line? It would have been an Everton goal, and I think O'Brien cleared it off the line. Need to see a replay on that. Free kick, Everton blasted it in. Somebody got on the end of it. Looked like it was going in. Looked like an Everton player blocked it on the line. Really good tempo to this game. There's an Arsenal player on the floor holding his face. Cross comes in. Oh no, it wasn't as good as it looked. No, it's not on the line. It does hit his chest, but he can't adjust it. Fancy Villa to beat Forest later yet? Oh, what's happened to Ben White there? I think he's just caught one in the face. I think he's okay. Dredge says, if United isn't going to challenge for the title in the next 5 years, why spend money on a striker who's 25 old? We might as well buy someone younger. I've never heard such a crap comment in all my life, mate. I just can't. There are so many holes in that. Hedgehog wants his pillow back. What are you talking about? So who says we're not going to win the title in the next 5 years? For a start. And you're never going to win the title in the next 5. I mean, you can't buy players because you're admitting you're not going to win the league. You can't buy kids because you think you're going to be shit for 5 years. Like, so we're not going to be in the Champions League for 5 years. We're not going to earn money for 5 years. Come on. Get real. Chelsea might not win the title for 5 years. Doesn't mean they're going to buy kids, does it? You've got to try and, in football, you've got to try and be the best you can be now, not tomorrow. 3 things to cure a hangover, says Constantine. If I knew one thing, I'd be better off. In my experience, plenty of water before you go to bed and when you get up. Paracetamol before you go to bed and when you get up. And as much sleep as you can get. What do you think of Trump's tariffs implementation, Mark? Says Matthew. I've not looked into it at all, pal, so I don't really know. Ina says, I remember you saying on a podcast you think De Bruyne is better than Lampard, but yesterday you said Lampard is better. Why is that? Mate, I say a lot of things. There's bound to be some contradiction somewhere. I mean, I don't know why in football people think that you're going to remember what you said 5 years ago, 5 months ago. Of course, you're always going to get a little bit of contradiction. I put my hands up. If I said that, you know, fair play for you remembering it. I don't. The bottom line is, the point I was making is that De Bruyne for me is not in the top 3 Premier League midfielders of all time. And I think anybody who thinks he is a chuff monster. Because they're desperate to live in a time where they think it's like a goated period of the Premier League. And he's not. He's not one of the best. He's not one of the top 3 Premier League midfielders of all time. Absolutely not. He's played in an era where Man City have dominated as a juggernaut. He's a very good player, but I don't think he is. Solsky says, why do people ask you political stuff? You're just a bloke who likes football, who cares about your political opinions. Fair play. I don't really do politics anyway. I preferred Yaya Toure at Man City. I think he had a more impact on Man City in a worse team, in a more competitive league. I think De Bruyne has played in a Man City side that was way better than everybody else, where he's had you know, the opportunity to just conduct things in a very fast car, so to speak. Whereas I think Toure did it in a Man City side that wasn't necessarily as good as that. But Gerrard's better than Lampard. Roy Keane's better than Lampard. Gerrard's better than De Bruyne. Scholes is better than De Bruyne. I think Yaya Toure is better than De Bruyne. Vieira is better than De Bruyne. Keane better than... If we're talking midfielders, I I was tempted to say Fabregas, but that might be too far. Bench, sell, start, says Anton. Musiala, Wirtz, Bellingham. I would start Bellingham. I would bench. It's close between Musiala and Wirtz, to be fair. I'd probably bench Musiala and sell Wirtz. Good play by White. This game needs a goal. Terrible cross. Danielius says, have you seen that Villa are exploring selling stakes in their women's team to help them comply with the Premier League's financial rules? I think it's getting a bit silly, mate. I mean, look, I know a bit, but it's not something that, excites me looking at Premier League football clubs' finances. But the Premier League need to look into this. It's bloody stupid. How does a football club sell its female team? It's Barcelona levers, isn't it? It's just incredible. And who owns the team? If you sell Aston Villa female team, can I buy it? Can I call it That's Football? It's just weird. It shouldn't be allowed to happen. And what does that do for women's football? It's a ridiculous idea. I know Chelsea have done it, and it's absolutely stupid. And basically, it's just another loophole, and it does nothing for female football. And it's absolutely stupid. And I mean, what a message that is. We're going to sell the female team to help the male team. It's just fucking stupid, isn't it? Absolutely stupid. Man United will definitely do it next, maximum 100%, yeah. Definitely. 60% of you are saying that Bayern will beat Inter. I think Inter will win. So we'll come back to that one. Of course, that's going to take place this week. We've got, let's have a look. Tuesday night football is Real Madrid against Arsenal and Bayern Munich against Inter. We'll be live for those games. And then Wednesday night, you've got Barcelona, Dortmund and PSG, Villa. Good thing for both. Well, the good thing, hold on a minute. Trossard is going to have to go himself. Good play. Branthwaite's having a good game. Where do you think Branthwaite will end up? He's got to make a move this summer. He's got to make a move this summer. I mean, in some ways, I think not going to United probably didn't do him any harm. He's had a good season for Everton. But where will he go? Everton on the attack now. It's end to end. Good block. Sterling's so bad. Liverpool. Would he go from Everton to Liverpool? It's quite rare. Thank you very much for that super chat, Danelius. City could use him, says Matty. Chelsea, a few people are saying there. Mohammed says, is there a lack of superstars in the Premier League lately? I think there's a lack of superstars in football in general. We just don't have the Zidans anymore. The Kakas, we just don't have the Xavis, the Iniestas. We just don't have them anymore. And that's because it's been coached out of the game. Football has become very tactical, very structured. Individualism is a rarity at the moment. Chelsea facing UEFA sanction after the body rejected the club's actions to get around financial fair play rules, says Ola. I'm sure they'll find a way around it, mate. Who do I think is going to win the FA Cup, Alfie? City. Yeah. I think Villa will beat... I mean, I always write Forest off, but I think Villa will beat Forest quite comfortably today. I think that race for top 5 could be very interesting come Monday morning. If Forest lose, Villa win, Chelsea lose. Very interesting. Chelsea are at Brentford, I think, tomorrow. Manchester Derby tomorrow, United stand. Are you going anywhere else in the world, Mark? Well, I'm looking forward to going to the States. I've got a few things I need to do there, so going to make a trip of it. There's plenty of places I want to go, but I normally have to work while I'm travelling, so as long as they've got the internet anywhere, I suppose. When footballers are jeered, does it affect them, says Lisa Reynolds. I don't know. You have to ask them. Are you going to do any World Club Cup watch-alongs? Well, I tell you what. Let me ask you lot a question. Will you watch, and I'm not posting this yet, the Club World Cup? Because I think a lot of people... I've not made any decisions yet. Will you watch the Club World Cup, right? I think a lot of people will watch it, but won't admit it. It's a bit like Love Island, right? I think people will watch it because there's nothing else on. That's why I think people will watch it. But what I would also say is, fundamentally, I don't mind the idea of a Club World Cup. I think it's not a terrible idea. I think we've got too much football. That's a reason not to do it. The calendar doesn't really allow for it. And doing it every 4 years doesn't really make sense. In national football, it makes sense because you've got your Copa Americas, you've got your AFCON, you've got your Euros. So it makes sense doing it for national teams every 4 years. You'd like to make it less, but it makes sort of sense. I personally think we should have the World Cup every 2 years and the Euros every 2 years, but then again, you're messing with the calendar again. But I think it would make international football better, and I've always thought this, if the World Cup was every 2 years and the Euros was every 2 years, because I think a 4-year cycle in football is a long time. You look at someone like Yamal, 17, 21, 25, 29, there's a lot of change in his career there, World Cup to World Cup. I think it should be every 2 years, and I think it would help the national football, international football, if we did do that. But in club football, every 4 years is ridiculous. Cycles in Club World Cup ball, you could literally miss a team. Like, if you do a Club World Cup every 4 years, you could literally miss a team that was amazing. Like, Barcelona might have 2 years where they're the best team in the world, but it happens in between. So the logic of it is stupid. I think the biggest problem with the Club World Cup is the calendar doesn't work. But every 4 years is just stupid, in my opinion. But also, the big problem with this one is that you've got no Barcelona, you've got no Liverpool, you've got no Arsenal. And they are, without doubt, 3 of the top 8 clubs in the world at the moment. So how can you legitimately hand the Club World Cup to Man City or Real Madrid or whoever's going to win it? And they can hold it up and say, we're the best team in the world, when you're not. You're not. You might not even be Champions League winners, you know? You might not even be domestic league winners. How can you go from, you didn't win the Champions League or your league in May, but now you're holding up Club World Cup in July? It's stupid to me. Will people watch it? I think a lot of people will watch it. I think people will watch it. I don't think the numbers will be that big, though. I mean, I'm just looking at some of the fixtures. It starts on Sunday, the 15th of June. Al Ali against Inter Miami, and then Palmeiras against Porto. Who gives a shit? PSG Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, Auckland City. Who gives a shit? Benfica Boca Juniors, okay. Chelsea against to be confirmed. Don't know who that is. Never heard of them. River Plate, Urawa Reds, Fluminense, Dortmund. Inter against Monterrey, Man City against Wydad Casablanca, Real Madrid against Al Hilal, Pachuca against Red Bull Salzburg. I don't even know why Red Bull Salzburg are in it. Seattle Sounders against Atletico Madrid. I mean, there's just not many good games. That's the problem. Fuzzy says, don't write off TBC. Their new striker is the next big thing. Brian says, I actually think a 2-year World Cup cycle will kill my interest level. I'm open to it, but I genuinely think a club, an international World Cup every 2 years would be the. I don't think they'd be able to do it infrastructure-wise, etc. But Paul Francis says Snobbridge. Paul, that's just abuse without decent conversation. Come back at me and tell me why the Club World Cup is credible when it doesn't have the best teams in the world in it. That's my big problem. I don't think we need one either. I genuinely don't think we need one. United should buy a striker from the MLS, says Daniel. Why? Dean Hayes says, do you think the league is done if Arsenal drop points here? Mate, it was done at Christmas. It was done the first week in December. This game needs a goal. 32 minutes gone, still 0-0. Everton on the attack. Joseph says, surely World Cup and Euros every 2 years means that with the alteration there'd be something for every summer and players would always be injured. Mate, it's happening anyway. There are still internationals every summer when there isn't a World Cup or the Euros. Here's Sterling. He's going to lose this ball before he even passes it. Oh no. Here's Trossard. What a goal. What a goal. Game needed a goal. Goldbridge asked for a goal. Goldbridge got a goal. It's Arsenal. It's 1-0. And it just makes the game better now. Everton have got to open up a little bit. Took it well. Typical Trossard finish this. Made Pickford look irrelevant. Sterling did all right here, actually. Assist. Carries the ball, gives it to Trossard. You'd be disappointed if you're O'Brien. Through his legs. Pickford's not got arms big enough for that. It's a good finish, though. Nice and low. Moyes can't believe it. He's got his hands, his head in his hands. And Everton are losing 1-0. Mukto says Trossard goes under the radar a lot, doesn't he? Corner to Everton. I like Trossard. My assessment of Trossard is that I don't know. It's almost like he scores a few goals and sort of demands a place in the starting team. Then he gets in the starting team and doesn't deliver. Enrique says, if you come to Chicago, you need to do a food tour. What's good in Chicago? Can you please call George a Gronk, says Chris. Big take by Raya there. Can you do Barcelona Real Madrid Watchalong game week 35, says Essie. And Nick P says, I like the weirdness of it. It's like Enter the Dragon. Random teams from around the world no one's heard of in one place. Most of them will be crap though, Nick. That's the problem. Constantine says, I think Jordan Pickford will do well at United. Mate, I don't want that. I'd never want him at United. Bloody hell. Everton. Ooh. See, game's opened up a bit now. Better. Anton says, you have 10 penalty shots. Each goal is worth £100,000, but one random shot triggers a hindered and trapdoor under your feet and you die instantly. How many do you take? Oh, it's a little bit like the old grape, isn't it? So I've got 10 shots, 100 grand every one I score, I presume, and one shot, it will blow up a trapdoor and I'll die. So I've got a 1 in 10 chance, 10% chance of it happening on the first shot. I'd be worried with that, to be honest. I'd be very worried about anything beyond 2. I'd probably take 2. I'll take 200 grand on that, because I'm not missing. Matthew McFadden, our producer and one of the mods, says, I wouldn't take a single one because there's no guarantee I'd win anything. Yeah, if you crap at penalties, just don't bother. See, Everton have done a lot better since they've gone 1-0 down. O'Brien's just headed a cross over the bar there. Salah will lose the golden boot, says Mahmood. Will he? Well, I tell you what, a lot of people, I think, thought that Haaland was going to win the Golden Boot every year he played for Man City. Well, here we go. He's not. He's out for the season and he's second place anyway. Golden Boot leader at the moment is Salah with 27. You've got Haaland second on 21 and you've got Isak third on 20. So you're saying that Isak will catch Salah? I don't think he will. No, he won't. 6 goal difference, 7 goal difference. Nah, he ain't going to do that. No. He won't do that. Ooh, thank you. What's the weather like for the next few days? I'm at the Baller League on Monday yet. Oh, 16 degrees. I thought the weather was going to fall off a little bit. It's good. I haven't had any rain for ages. Player down injured here at the moment for Arsenal. Are you ready for City tomorrow, says Destroyer? I am looking forward to it because regardless of, you know, anything, I just think a Manchester derby is always, it's always something on it. It's like the North London derby or the Merseyside derby, isn't it? It's, you know, there is always going to be something on it. Who would you be going for in the transfer window, says Chloe Ewing? I would be going for Cunha. That's the player I would want. And fair play, whatever club signs him, I think he's... you look at what he's done for Wolves this season. I'm telling you now, and I've said it on United Stand and I'll say it on here. He would be my signing for United if I could do it. I think he'd be transformative in the system. But wherever he goes, whether it's Liverpool or Arsenal or whatever, he will be a fantastic signing. Yeah, he will. CJ Game says Cunha has acted poor at Wolves. Well, he's kept them up, mate. I don't think that can be you know, devalued. He's been a big part of keeping them up. Will you watch the Club World Cup? 37% of you yes, 63% of you no. Will I watch it? I I don't think I will, like, well, what I will say is absolutely categorically won't watch it the same way I'd watch the World Cup or the Euros. I'm not watching every game. That's definitely true. Raya or Martinez is a good one, and it's a poll. Thank you, Dougie. Yeah, Mahmoud, there's no way that Salah's losing the Golden Boot. 7-goal difference to Isak, not going to happen. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. I'm not 100% today, but I'm doing this game, obviously. I'm hoping to do our Villa against Forest later. We'll see how the throat holds up, because I've just realised that talking a lot with a damaged throat, it might get worse. The big thing is my nose is not running as much. Vinny says, better or worse? Will Trent Alexander-Arnold's career get better or worse from this point? Good one. We'll do that in a minute. Bit stop-start this game. Okay, now there's another. I tell you what, this game is way too stop-start. Trossard's up now. It's interesting with Trent though, because he's won the Champions League, hasn't he? He's won the Premier League. He's going to win the Premier League again. So he's 25, is he? Go to Real Madrid. Is he again? I'd say we'll do it in a minute, but think anyone's going to buy Elanga, Simo? No, I don't see Elanga leaving Forest this year, especially if they get Champions League football. I don't think a lot of their players will leave. I don't think clubs have got the money to go and spend £60 million on Elanga, or 40-50 million pounds on Milinkovic or Murillo. So I think those players will stay and go next summer. So Arsenal leading 1-0 here. Everton not out of it, but the game needed a goal, and Arsenal probably have been the better side without looking at the stats. Elanga to Chelsea. I mean, how many more wingers can Chelsea buy? Would Mainu and Mount work as the number 10s in an Amorim systems as Atomic Thrasher? I don't think the mobility's there, mate. I think he likes to have at least one winger who can take people on. Newcastle did want Elanga, says Stop It, for 50 mil. Arsenal on the attack here, just approaching the 45th minute, but there will be added time. Wanyeri's cross, not good enough, and that goes for a goal kick. Have you put on a bet on the Grand National, says Lewis? I haven't, but I am very good at picking the winner. I will tell you the Grand National winner right now. I am Maximus, 6-1. That's quite high. Yeah, if you want to go for the favourites, go for I Am Maximus. I'll tell you the winner. So hard to pick the winner, innit? Vanilla is going to win it. Vanilla. 6 minutes added on. Yeah, there's been a lot of breaks in this one. Martinez has beaten Raya 55% to 45%. I think Raya's a good goalkeeper. I do. Better or worse? Will Trent have a... how did I used to write it? I think that's how we do it. So Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to go to Real Madrid. Will his career get better or worse from this point? And how we do that is we look at what they've done in their career so far. And will it get better or worse? For example, Ronaldo's career is going to get worse, isn't it? Obviously. Trossard, good save. Rice, good block. Tarkowski. I actually think Tarkowski fouled him there. I don't know why that's not a penalty. I don't know why the referee... Why is it that referees assume if you stay on your feet, it's not a foul? Hewitt will win the Grand National, says Shane B. Give me some water. Well, Trossard's down here. I thought this looked like a pen. Let's have a look. Takes it down. Oh no, I think he's injured himself on Pickford, hasn't he? Tarkowski fouled him. Definitely fouled him. He could, if he'd have gone down, that would have been a penalty. Fair play, he stayed on his feet, but you never get the penalty when you stay on your feet. I went on a date today and it went really well, says Dunny. A day date? What's a day date? I thought dates happened at night. Can we do either or tournament winner stays on, please, says Joel. What tournament? Jack says, if your date went well, why are you on here? Doubt it. Hey, come on, mate. Maybe they don't. Maybe she does. Maybe she or he or they don't put out on their first date. I respect that. So I'm telling you now, in my dating days, if they put out on the first date, we're never going to last. Doesn't mean I wouldn't enjoy it, but they're not long-term relationship material if they're putting out on the first date. It's great, but it's not going to last. Cozy says, we complain about players going down too easily but don't get penalties when they stay on their feet. It's always been a bugbear of mine that if you try and stay on your feet, you never get the penalty. Shot over the bar by Ndia. I quite like this Ndia at Everton. I think he'd blossom at Brentford or someone like that. I think he's a good player. Almost doesn't suit Everton because I think he's technically a good player in a better team. I think he'd be a good player. I've always been impressed with him all season. I think he's a good player. 55% say a better career for Trent if he leaves Liverpool. I tell you, who needs to get out of West Ham. Half time, Goodison needs to get out of West Ham. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. Big week of Champions League football coming up. Everton won't be involved in that, probably never will. But Real Madrid, Arsenal playing on Tuesday night, and PSG, Aston Villa playing on Wednesday night. We're going to do Villa against Forest tonight at 5:30. Big game in the race for top 5, which effectively is what the Premier League is all about now, isn't it? I mean, the title race is basically done, and it is all going to come. The relegation battle's done. I don't see that changing, but the race for top 5 and Champions League football is really tough to predict. Chelsea, big win against Spurs on Thursday, puts them into 4th. Man City, obviously now in 5th. Newcastle play Leicester on Monday night. You'd expect them to win there. Villa play Forest tonight. And although Forest look like they're in a very good position, if Villa were to win and Newcastle were to win, Newcastle would actually be 4 points behind Forest with a game in hand. And if Chelsea were to win, they would only be 2 points behind Forest. So Forest could still get dragged into dragged out of the top 4. A lot of people are sort of saying they'll do it, but I was looking at their fixtures actually. I mean, look, points on the board help, but Villa away, Everton at home, Spurs away, Man City is FA Cup, ignore that. So Villa away, Forest at Everton at home, Spurs away, Brentford at home, Palace away, Leicester at home, West Ham away, Chelsea at home. That Chelsea game on Sunday the 25th of May could be very, very big. But people write them off all the time. I'm not saying they're not going to get top 5. I'm just saying that they're not home and hosed yet. Yeah, they're not home and hosed yet. I mean, I think if they could get something today, they will. Right, Kevin De Bruyne leaving City is a loss for the Premier League, says Rajaf. No, when it's time to go, it's time to go. I feel he's fell off recently. It's time to go. Aroko will win the Grand National, says it's crossbar. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. A couple of Grand National. I said Villanea, didn't I? Vinny says coffee or tea? Get your questions in. Water break, Mark, says Lewis Jackson. I want to have a look at the stats in this game as well. Coffee or tea? Chuck your questions at me. I know it's a football watch along, but realistically, I'm happy to answer questions. Hopefully, I'll be doing another. I've got to try out something for the summer. I did a live stream from my kitchen about a week and a half ago. I need to do another one this week. I'll let you know the day, but it's on my channel. It might be Wednesday or Thursday. It's something I've got to test out for the summer. For out and about content in the summer, like when I'm in the States and stuff. So I need to test out some kit. But anyway, ask me some questions. Statistically, the game looks like this. I'm not going to be going around New York light speed. I'll leave that to the legend. Yeah, no, that I don't think that would go well. 66% possession for Arsenal. 6 shots to 3, 3 shots on target to 0, and 4 corners to 2. They're the better team at the moment, Arsenal. And I think it's going to be all about who gets the second goal. As for coffee or tea, I think I predominantly drink tea more than coffee. Occasionally I'll feel like a coffee in the morning. I don't think I've ever had a coffee in the afternoon in my whole life. You should do an Idiot Abroad type series, says Jake J. What would that be? I've got I tell you what, I've got about six brilliant ideas that I'd love to do. I'm not saying they're all bang, but I've always had them. It's just time to do them. I think they do really, really well, but you got to make time sometimes, haven't you? You got to make time. If you faced a pitcher throwing 100 miles an hour, how many tries would it take you to make contact, says Chris? It's all about timing, mate. I reckon I'd probably hit it on the second one. I had a go last summer. Me and Ginge did it with Ben Foster. You know the ball? You know the ball that shoots out? That went up to 80 miles an hour, and I smacked it on the volley. It's just timing. That's all it is. It's just having the timing right. Do you like doing non-football content to stop it? I actually do. I actually think my best content is non-football. I love football though, so I love doing football. But I think for anybody who's watched like Driving with Goldbridge or any of the stuff I do, I just think that not being. I love football, so I love talking about football. But I think I don't know how to word it. I like it when I'm doing stuff that's not football because it's more real to me, and I think I'm allowed to, like the first 20 minutes of my Dublin show, I sort of did it, I memorised it and sort of did it trying to come up with some funny stuff in it, and I quite enjoyed that. But it's not always easy with football. I think that explains it better. I think when I'm not doing football content, it's easier for me to get my personality across and be a little bit more playful. Whereas in football, because I love football and I'm quite passionate about it, I don't always do that. Favourite Val Kilmer performance? Mine's Top Gun, rest in peace, as Christian Lynn. I thought he was brilliant in Tombstone. Actually, I might watch one of his films tonight that I've never watched. It's got Michael Douglas in it and it's about lions or something. It's meant to be quite good. 7 a.m. football, F1 Goldbridge lock-in. No, mate, not the way I'm feeling at the moment. I think by tonight, I'll be hopefully having a good sleep tonight because last couple of nights, when you've got when your nose is running constantly, it's so hard to get to sleep. Like my mouth was just filling up with like phlegm, and I know it sounds horrible, but it was just really hard to sleep last couple of nights. So I think tonight, hopefully get a bit of a lie-in. NT says, at least you're going to get a point back in win, lose or draw. It's not over yet. If it's a draw, Robbie gets another point. Ghost and Darkness is the name of that film, Mark. Thank you very much. Would you visit New Zealand, says Alex. I really want to go Australia and New Zealand. But if I'm going to do it, I think you've got to block out like a month to do that. Yeah. What's your favourite Bond film, says Joe? I do like the Daniel Craig films. But I grew up on the Roger Moore ones, so I think A View to Kill or The Spy Who Loved Me. I love those. It just reminds me of like when I was a kid, Saturday afternoon, there'd always be a Bond film on. So Saturday evening, actually, there'd always be a Bond film on a Saturday night. Got a couple of spare rooms here in Perth, Australia. Do a watch along here, says Retro. Hey, mate, I'm more than happy if you've got a pad in. If anyone owns any hotels or stuff, I'm not shy about that. Favourite Cornetto trilogy film? Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead or World's End? I like all of them. I haven't watched them for a while, but I'd probably say Hot Fuzz. See, I love film. I loved that. We used to do this. Remember on Twitch? You used to be able to have, put your, I don't know whether you can do it. I've not been on Twitch for ages, but you could, Twitch was owned by Amazon or vice versa. So you could play a film that was on Amazon Prime onto Twitch and do a movie watch along where you could watch it. So it'd be like me having the rights to the football. We did Jaws 2, Hot Fuzz one summer. That was good. I enjoyed that. I mean, I like film anyway. I need a film for tonight, actually. Would you ever get a low taper fade, says Elias. I don't know what it is. Christopher says you missed my super chat. Sorry, mate. Hopefully it wasn't crap. Sometimes I miss them because they're rubbish. Is going down cheating? Well, if my wife said she'd done that, she's definitely cheating. I've just realised you might be talking about in a footballing context, Alan, because you're not the sort of person to say something rude. Alan Casey, is going down cheating? If it's for a penalty, of course. Christopher says, I'll watch the Cup Winners' Cup only because, or the Club World Cup because I support Chelsea. Also currently into fragrances. What do you wear? Oh, good question, Christopher. Yeah, I don't blame you watching the Club World Cup if you support Chelsea. If Man United were in it, I'll watch Man United pre-season friendlies, even if I know they're picking the kids. So I don't have a problem with that at all. No problem with that at all, yeah. I think cheating in a relationship is basically any physical contacts with any male that's kissing, holding hands, yeah, anything. It's cheating, definitely cheating. Here's one for you. If your partner is knocking one out to porn, are they cheating? I say not, because I'm a serial cheater, if that's the case, in years gone by. But technically, is it cheating? I think we should have an either or on that, but it is only 1:30. We've all cheated then, haven't we? Lisa Reynolds said, were you ever bullied? Oh, I have told this story before. I don't think I think it was in the smaller days. If I tell it now. Were you ever bullied? My son got thrown to the floor by a fat bloke over a football dispute, says Lisa. Well, that might not be bullying. Sorry, I'm just being sentence. Manchester United beat Leeds 13-1 under 18s. Going back to the bully question, if you've been fortunate enough in life never to be bullied, then I don't think it's a bad thing to experience what being bullied is about, because it's not a nice feeling and you shouldn't do it. I just don't like it. I know that sounds like a statement of fact, but I can't stand bullies. There's a lot of bullies in this. Bullying's not just about physical bullying. Like, there's a lot of bullies in the industry I work in. I don't like it. Some of the behaviours of bigger businesses, personalities, they're not walking around nicking your dinner money, but they are bullies. And I just don't like bullying. I hate it. Can't stand it. Yeah, I've said my piece. I'll leave it there. Mr. Trombone, thank you very much for your super chats there. What's your view on Gabriel? JJ Gabriel, Mark, says Rahul. Is that the kid at United? Very, very... I don't know whether he got on the pitch today. Did he play today? I know it originated from Souness, but I've played the game is my favourite catchphrase from you, Mark. Keep up the good work, you absolute legend. I'm claiming I've played the game. Like, Souness didn't go around going, I've played the game. I've played the game. He just said, I've played the game. But he didn't turn it into... Like, what we've done with I've played the game is take what he said and turn it into a piss take of ex-players who think because they played the game, it makes them better than us. So, yeah. he says it from a point, and I like Graham Souness, despite I think a lot of United fans don't like him. I think he's a good pundit. But when he was saying I've played the game, he was actually meaning like I've played the game, I should be listened to. Whereas I think we do it in a whole take the piss out of it. But I liked Souness. I thought he was a good pundit. Do you think teams will start giving more extensions to older players now that the longevity of players is on the rise? And do you think it's good for the game? Says Mr. Trombone. Thanks for your super chat. Do you think teams will start giving more extensions to older? I don't know. I don't know. Players coming out for the second half. Martinelli, I think, is coming on because Trossard took a couple of knocks. I don't know what's going to happen. And Saka's coming on as well. I mean, unlucky Everton. Martinelli and Saka coming on when you're 1-0 down. Saka needs the minutes. I'm excited now. I haven't seen Saka play for ages. I didn't see it the other night. I don't know what's going to happen with football. I mean, hopefully we'll be here to discuss it together in this great community, but I don't know what's going to happen with football. In my opinion, it's definitely not as good as it used to be, but it can be. The officiating is disgusting. The chess-like tactics are ridiculous. The playing out from the back that everybody does is monotonous. There's a lack of individuality. It's all about systems. I think football needs to change. But answering your question about players are playing for longer. I don't know whether that's sustainable because players are also getting injured more. It's a fact. It's been swept under the carpet this season, but last season, by Christmas, we'd had like a 25% in injuries compared to the season before. They've kept it really quiet this year. There's been no journalists writing about it. Client journalism is on the rise. There's a lot of journalists out there now who write what they're told. They don't actually do investigative journalism anymore. So my theory is that we're getting more injuries. And my theory is that's because we're playing more games. So I don't think players are playing for longer because they're fitter. I think they're probably playing for longer because they're having more injuries and more breaks in their career. So I think it's an interesting one. Will players play for longer but get injured more? Maybe. Do you think teams... I've done that one from Mr. Trombone. I'm quite new to your channels, Mark. Wondering, how have you changed as a person and presenter over the 10 years you've been doing this, says Lucy Swan. I don't know whether I could answer that. We're up and running for the second half. I don't know. I don't know whether we've got people who've watched this or the United stand for years. I've never asked that before. And I don't think I could answer it, really. I think you always learn, but penalty, Everton. Tim says he's a bit calmer now. Is it a free kick or a penalty? I don't think it's even a foul. I don't even think that's a foul. I've had enough. I've had enough of referees. That's not even a foul. It's not even a bloody foul. I can't. We're talking about something else. Absolutely shit. Let's run a poll. Is that a penalty? Yes or no? I can't believe that is going to get given as a penalty in 2025. It just caps off. Just caps off another. He's given it as well. This fuck. I tell you what. I've had enough. I've fucking had enough. I've had enough of this PGMOL. I don't even care about the game. I don't care if Everton score. He's a fucking moron. They are ruining the game. They are ruining the game. Absolute shit. 2 players fall over and he gives a bloody penalty. 1, it was on the edge of the box anyway. And 2, it's not a bloody foul. It's absolutely terrible. But I'm so fed up of the way they officiate modern games. You just don't know what's a penalty. You don't know what's a foul. So on Wednesday night, Tarkowski nearly snaps McAllister, no red card. On Saturday lunchtime, 2 players fall over, penalty. I just absolutely fed up of it. It's just disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And they're ruining the game. And nobody does anything about it. How is VAR not saying you're a fucking prick, mate? Why have you given a foul? 1-1. Everton benefit from shit PGMOL decision again. Should have had Tarkowski sent off on Wednesday. Shouldn't be getting a penalty on Saturday. Bollocks. Absolute load of crap. They need investigating. Stop protecting them. I don't know who is protecting them. The mainstream probably. That is absolutely disgusting. I cannot believe they've given a penalty for that. Well, like Jabba says, outside the box maybe, but just not a penalty. Just not a foul. Lewis Jackson says, football is broke, make it great again. Constantine says, the ref is a right mug. 66% of you said it was a penalty. I need Arsenal to win anyway for win, lose or draw, so I've got a vested interest here. But regardless of that, it wasn't a penalty. Just wasn't a penalty, David. Look, from an Everton point of view, you're going to take it. If that happens in the Manchester derby tomorrow, I'll be screaming he could have killed him. But it's just not. It's just not a penalty. Arsenal need to be careful here, though. Everton on the attack. Could be 2-1. Good save, Raya. %65% say no penalty, 35% say yes. I mean, obviously, I think that's ridiculous that 35% of you need to go and get your eyes tested, but maybe some of them are Liverpool fans who want Arsenal to lose or draw or drop points, which I get. But I think that's one of the worst penalties we've seen this season. Rub says, penalty against Arsenal, no questions, all legal. Arteta out, jog on Arteta, just get out, mate. Stephen says, I'm a Liverpool fan, not complaining, but how? And this was the ref who ruled out Diaz's goal offside, says Rajaf. Evwari says, I'm a Liverpool fan. That's a disgrace, though. I mean, they won't show replays of it now because the media are on the bloody PGMOL side, aren't they? I mean, I still can't believe that a week after Man City beat Bournemouth, we still haven't been shown whether Bernardo Silva handled the ball in the build-up to the second goal. I mean, that to me is one of the biggest crimes of football this season. we still haven't seen the replay of whether Bernardo Silva handled the ball. But I saw it a couple of times, and for me, I just can't see where the foul is. He's just a home banker referee, isn't he? Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, you're all welcome. Corner to Arsenal. I agree with Trisfitz, by the way. It's got nothing to do with Everton. I mean, the thing that I've always said over the last couple of years where people go wrong is because Everton benefited from it, Everton fans will be saying, yeah, it's a penalty, it's a penalty. And then it'll happen to you next week and you'll be going, oh, it's a disgrace, the referee's really bad. Like, that's how they win. Because there'll be Everton fans going, yeah, it definitely was a penalty, great decision. And because you know, you've got your tinted glasses on. The reality is it's happening all the time to all the teams. It's been going on for years. They're absolutely shit at their job. Is Saka limping? Someone in the chat said, Nicolas Cage. Yeah, I sort of saw that myself, but I don't know what that's all about. He doesn't look like he's moving freely. Arteta doesn't look too worried, though. Here, they're going to show it again. No. It's just not a penalty. And anyway, surely the foul starts before he goes into the box. If you think it's a foul, surely it starts before the box. I think what he's trying to say is it's a foul, but he falls over in the box, so it's a penalty. It's like the foul starts outside the box if you want to call it a foul. I don't think Saka's going off. I can't see anyone warming up. Lovely ball into the box there. That's a goal kick. Tom Grant says, what's for tea? Thoughts on slim chickens? The missus wants to go there for tea. I'm head scratching between that, Five Guys and KFC, says Tom Grant. I'm gonna have a. I think I'm gonna have a curry, bit of garlic for the cold and all that. Joe says go for Five Guys. Slim Chickens is elite. I've never heard of Slim Chickens. Is it? Do we have it in the UK? It's a restaurant chain. Yeah, there's one in Birmingham. I've never heard of it. Looks good. Basically a competitor to KFC, innit? A madras will sort you out, says Lee. I'm actually getting quite hungry now. I think I'll have some dinner after this. Yeah, so 1-1 here. Controversial. Should never have been a bloody penalty. Free kick to Arsenal. Thanks for your super chats, by the way. Nearly 9,000 tuning in. Absolute legends. Let us know where you're watching from. You can tell me not the city, the country. Let me know the country you're watching from. We always do city. Let me change it. I want to know the country you're watching from. Free kick, Arsenal. I know it's only rock and roll, but I like it, like it. Yes, I do. I know it's only rock and roll, but I like it. Let's see what happens. This is free kick, and I'm going to read out where people are watching from. Thanks to everyone who's getting involved. Paul's in Australia. Saka's shot straight into the wall. Jacob's in America. Gavin's in Vietnam. Sergeant Barnes is in Denmark. Tuck's in Ireland. Jimmy's in New Zealand. Hasham says, am I the only one from the UAE? I doubt it, mate. You'll be surprised. When we were looking at our podcast demographics before Christmas, we had 20 listeners from Nepal. And Donnie's in South Africa. Cotswolds. Quite a few in from South Africa. South Africa is a growing audience for us. We've got nearly 6% of United Stand is South African, but 2 years ago it was under 2. So I don't know what they're doing in South Africa. I don't know what's going on there, but it's a growing market. Amar says, which league has the best officiating? I don't know. Damini's in Nigeria. We probably won't have many people from the States because the time in LA at the moment is 5:53 in the morning. Yeah, it's not really a watch along for the United States, is it? I never think about that. Time in New York is 8:53 in the morning. Time in Delhi is 6:23, so it's good for India. Time in New Zealand is 1:53 in the morning, so might be some late ones there. Apparently, if the foul continues into the box, then they will judge at the point where the foul was most impactful. In this instant, inside the box, says Mozza. Yeah, but it's not a bloody foul. Would you rather have Lewis Skelly or Nwaneri at United, says Rodrigo? I think Nwaneri would be better for us. It's 6:54 a.m. in Mexico, says Graham. Declan Rice is proper slow there, giving a foul as well. The Dutch league has got the best officials, according to Reagan. $2.53 in South Africa. 7:54 in Chicago. How many time zones have you got in America then? HPN says, what's your prediction for Villa Forest? Villa win 2-0. Man United won't lose the derby, William. I actually think we'll win, but it could be a draw. Everton could end up winning this. Arsenal are proper second to every ball at the moment. Good feet by Lewis Skelly. He's going to have to pass this, though. What a run. Oh, what a run by Lewis Skelly that was. Referee books Tarkovsky. WWE referees have the most credibility than any other officials in any other sport around the world, says Redback. Someone tell him. Lovely run by Lewis Skelly, this was, though. I think he just got pure vibes of, I'm going to get the equaliser, I'm going to get the winner. Nice to see some individualism there as well. I mean, this is the thing. This is what football, modern football, misses. Like, people who just dribble. Captain says, I reckon America is the most woke place. I don't think Trump's woke, is he? Really wasn't dribbling, was it? Curtis says. Mate, he literally went past 2 players. What do you define as dribbling? Like, he went past 2 players and got fouled going past another one. But you're right. Sometimes it isn't dribbling. It's just carrying the ball. That's why I like Morgan Rogers, says Nicolas Cage. You know what I find boring? Free kicks. They never go in. Free kicks take so long. From the foul to the free kick, sometimes it can be 2 minutes. They all stand around. They all take well, let's have a look. It's a time waster. They never bloody go in. Just get on with it, because you're not going to score anyway. Oh, straight at the keeper. Still didn't score. I was right. I think there'll be a winner here. And it could be Everton. I hate having a cold. Yamal is one of the only unique players currently, says Paddy. Amram's just done another interview for Sky. Fucking hell. Well, it is the Manchester derby. More interviews than Alan Sugar, that guy. He's an interview merchant, says Baz. Did you buy local honey, says Paid Actor? It's harder than you think, you know. Buying local honey. How local? That's quite local. That's a nursery. I don't want to go there. Get bloody locked up. No, it said honey something, nursery. I think I'm going to get the jab. Have you ever tried Zicam? Says Jacob. It's good for a cold. No, I think the reason you have local honey is because the bees will have done something with the pollen. Isn't honey bad for you anyway, because it's got loads of sugar in it? Reagan says, would you rather be stung by a bee or a wasp? Well, having been stung by both. Has anybody not been stung by... you know what? I think this is an indicator of the problem with the youth of today, right? If you've not cut your leg on barbed wire, been stung by a nettle, or stung by a wasp, that makes me sad. Because I don't think many... Like, neither of my daughters, both teenagers, have been stung by a wasp or a nettle. And yet, when I was a kid, it was a regular occurrence. Getting cut on barbed wire as well. I just don't think kids are out today playing in the parks and stuff like that, are they? Loads of people in the chat never been stung. I've been stung loads. I got stung on the lip. I've got stung behind the ear, been stung on the leg. Holly says it's because you don't see bees and wasps anymore. I see bloody wasps all the time. Down the pub, they're everywhere. How did I get stung on the mouth? I was riding my motorbike. I was riding my bike, and I think it was unlucky. I was riding my bike along the road, and the wasp must have just been coming along, Went into my mouth as I was riding and stung all in my mouth. It bloody hurt. Things that you don't get now. Honey is very healthy, keeps you hard longer, says Rub. Okay. How many people can't fucking ride a bike? We were always on our bikes. I tell you what, they're playing Declan Rice in an advanced role here, and I just don't think he's quick enough. Yes, I have seen the under-18 scoreline, Holty. Having to collect the football from a nettle bush, says Matthew Lunn. Smashed shin with pedal bike pedals. Ref is awful. Yeah, he's certainly not been good for Arsenal so far, has he? Lee says, I thought it was a football commentary channel, not a honey and gardening. Well, welcome to That's Football, mate. Most of the time it's football chat, but the game's not been that good. I was stung by a bee because of curiosity, caught one and thought their honey comes from the abdomen when I was 6. I'll never forget that experience, says Nigel. The bee probably died as well. I think when a bee stings, it dies. Jorginho is coming off. Odegaard is coming on. 20 minutes to go. In relation to the league table, Arsenal would be, at the moment, 9 points behind Liverpool. Still got 7 games to play, so we're probably still 3 or 4 games before Liverpool get the title. Can they push it to May? It's a matter of when, not if. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're only 150 subscribers away from 314,000. Thanks for getting involved, as always. Big week on That's Football because we've got the Champions League midweek. I am doing Villa against Forest later. I think I'll be... I just wanted to do this one and see how I felt, but I think I'll be all right. I think I'll be fine. I just feel tired. And I'm not a very good day sleeper. Last time I slept in the day was after the NFL Super Bowl, which actually was quite a good sleep. Night nurse and an eye mask for day sleeping. Yeah, can't beat a good eye mask. We did a promo, might have been on here, it might have been on United Stand. We did a promo for this eye mask, people, and I got sent one as part of the promo. It's amazing. They should have done it again because it was a bloody good product. Why is Ruben Diaz overrated? Says James. I think Ruben Diaz is overrated because he came to the Prem, did really well. Man City were winning titles, and then typically modern punditry is really lazy. So because Diaz did well when he started, but Man City kept winning titles, it just became a lazy rhetoric to say, oh, Ruben Diaz has got to be in Team of the Year. And I don't actually think he's that good. He's good. I just don't think he's not Van Dijk. He's not Saliba. He's not even Gabriel. I just think he's a decent centre-back. I think it really shows when he plays for Portugal, actually. Who's your favourite wrestler? Stone Cold's the best, says Shawnee. Shawn Michaels or Bret the Hitman Hart? What's your view on Villa's transfer success? All 3 of their signings scored against Brighton, says Mozza. I'm really pleased for Villa because it's a big up yours to United and Arsenal that we need, you know, ignoring the January transfer window is a good idea. It's not a good idea. It's a stupid idea. You know, the way I look at Villa is the Premier League season is like a marathon. And halfway through that marathon, you get to stop, take on more liquid, change your trainers, have a massage, and, you know, that will help you finish the race better. And that's what Villa did. But United and Arsenal went, no, I won't take a drink on, I won't have a massage, and I won't change my trainers. I'll wait till the next race. Stupid. There's no way Villa would be having the season they're having if they hadn't done what they did in the transfer window. It just rejuvenated their team. Yeah, so Robbie's getting the point at the moment because we play win, lose or draw on a Friday, and he said this would be a draw, and I said an Arsenal win. So, yeah, not only is the referee screwed Arsenal, he's done me. Forest didn't sign anyone in January, says, why are you looking? Maybe they didn't need to, mate. Yeah, you get those sort of comments in here. What are you even talking about, you prat? That comment's just stupid. It's like, you know, it's like me going down Sainsbury's after this and getting myself some night nurse because I feel like I've got a cold. And then you going, well, Dave didn't do it next door. He ain't got a fucking cold. You got to, yeah, Nishant says football season is like the F1. You've got to take pit stops and change your tyres. Not everybody does, but those that are on, you know, worn tyres do. And Arsenal were on worn tyres all season. They've got no bloody striker. Same with United. I think this is going to end in a draw. Do you think football is washed, James? I think the officiating in the Premier League is scandalous. And you can use that word and you can clip that up. I genuinely think that at this point, the officiating is scandalous in the Premier League. It's disgusting. And I think the football has become very formulaic. But the football can change. It just needs an evolution. Like, you know, these systems aren't even... These systems are beatable. Like, you know, it's all about passing lanes and blocking them off and playing as a system. You can kill them all. He's given a foul on Trossard, has he? How's that a foul? How was that a foul? He slipped. This fucking ref is diabolical. It's a great save by Pickford, but they've given the foul. They actually gave a foul. Finn says, hot take, the Premier League is one of the most boring leagues in the world in terms of watchability and results. The A-League, my local league, is 10 times more fun to watch. Because everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody is passing out from the back. Everybody has their banks of 4. And everybody is playing systematically the same. And we need, you know, the antidote to that is to play differently. But nobody's got the balls to do it. And as I've said to you so many times before, if you're up against a team that's well set up and you can't pass through it, if you take one of their players on and go past them, you're into space. Someone's got to come to you and you broke the system. But not enough teams are doing it. Forest are playing different. Yeah, but Forest is a hard watch, Ashley. I mean, that's just counter-attack. I mean, I don't want to see football going back to that. Good ball in here. Martinelli probably should have done a bit better. Ref's out of his depth. Back to the Championship, mate, says Blake. Does Gyökeres, Williams and Zubimendi win Arsenal the league? I would pretty much guarantee it, JB, really. Unless, I mean, look, you know, injuries, etc., but you'd expect it. Am I doing West Ham versus Bournemouth, says Ibe? I mean, is there anything about my YouTube career that makes you think I would do that? Callum says a hard watch, we're third. Obviously, Callum, it's not going to be a hard watch for you. You're a Forest fan. What I'm saying is, I don't know anybody that watches Forest and enjoys it. They're boring. What do you think of Kevin leaving Man City at the end of the season, says Reagan? Look, I want Forest to beat Man City, but it'll be a crap game to watch. It'll be Man City with all of the ball and Forest defending. That's just not a style of football I like. If you like it, fair play. But it's I don't find it very interesting. Listening from San Diego, visit Southern California. Car pickup lines wasn't a thing when I was young. We walked to school by ourselves, says AJ. Oh, God, don't get me started on this. The amount of people who take their kids to school in their car is disgusting. Lazy. The amount of people who get the bloody car to the train station when they live 5 minutes down the road. Walking distance. Lazy. So many people are bloody lazy these days. That's why Barcelona are so fun to watch, Mark. Individual players like Yamal, Rafinha and Pedri and a different system with flicks, high lines, says Paddy. Well, let's hope that Barcelona can be the recipe for everybody else in the Premier League then. Because stylistically in the Premier League, it's all about Pep, isn't it, at the moment? I can't believe... Constantine says, I can't believe Arsenal dropped points here, but symbolic of their season. The penalties changed the game, mate. It really has. You know, Everton get back level and then they can counter-attack again. The ref's a twat. Would Villa winning the Champions League be a better achievement than Leicester winning the Premier League, says Don't Mind Me? It's a great question. I think Villa winning the Champions League would be pretty special, yeah. Put it this way, I don't expect them to. Tyler says, thoughts on the hate Loz gets. Does Loz get hate? I don't notice it. Apparently, Amram has said he will win the Premier League with Man United in the future. That's your legacy, mate, now. Never, ever say that. I bet he hasn't said that word for word. I bet he said, I've got to believe I can win the Premier League here. Oh, should have been 2-1. Odegaard didn't connect. No, I like Amrin, but I would never sit there knowing what I know and say I'm going to win the Premier League at Man United because we're just nowhere near doing it. Keith says, look at Ange, I win trophies in the second season. Well, mate, he's still got the Europa League. I mean, I don't think they will. I actually think Frankfurt might knock them out, but they are still in it. I think Frankfurt have looked quite a good side. But I don't think they're doing that well in the Bundesliga. Unless I'm mixing them up with someone else. Oh, they're third, so they aren't doing too bad. Bayern back dominating. 9 points clear. Good save, Pickford from Martinelli. NAU says, why do you need a striker? You've got no service. I mean, it's a fair point. Well done. Retro says, I forgot Saka was even on. Next, Spurs manager. We were talking about it on Thursday. I mean, they could go for the Bournemouth coach. They could go for Thomas Frank. I lived in Frankfurt for 3 months and saw Mamouche's last game. They will beat Spurs, says Jacob. Corner to Arsenal. They're not as good as at corners now without Gabriel. This ref may as well have an Everton top on. He is absolutely everything he's given to Everton this half. Boss plays, do you think Rashford will sign a contract at Villa? I don't think he will be at Villa, no. I don't think he will. I don't think Villa are going to win the Champions League. I don't think Villa are going to be in the top 5, so I don't think they'll have Champions League football next year, and therefore I don't think that they'll have the money to do that deal. So I think that this Rashford deal with Villa is just a short-term deal to benefit both. I do not think he'll stay at Villa. I don't know where he'll end up, but I don't think he'll be at Villa. Even if they get Champions League football, maybe, might stay, but I don't think they're going to get it, are they? I think it's going to be very difficult for Villa to get top 5, and I can't see him winning the Champions League. Mark, it's not necessary to lie about Forest to distance yourself from them and take the heat off. They've been one of the most entertaining teams this season, says Robbo. But, mate, you're talking out your arse. Come on. You're absolutely... I haven't even watched them that much this season, but they are basically what Ollie was to United. They sit deep, defend well, and counter. They're not an entertaining team to watch. We'll watch it together at R5 and you'll see. Go to beer, Mark, says Ollie. Go to beer, sorry. Okay. I'm not a beer snob. I don't really care. Christian says, do you think Southampton will beat Derby's point record? I think they will, yeah. There is a place called Beer in Devon. That's why I was getting confused a little bit. Thanks everyone who's tuned in, by the way. We are going to be live for Villa against Forest at 5:30, so tune in for that. Liverpool can chill out at Fulham tomorrow, says Christian. I'm not doing a 3 o'clock game, Gareth. No, I'll be overdoing it there. This is going to end in a draw, isn't it? Well done, ref. Oh, that was a good cross, but Moreno can't quite get his head on it. Yeah, we are doing Villa Forest, 5:30. Did the Liverpool Champions League knockout expose the Premier League's quality, says James? No, I don't think so. I think Arsenal Real Madrid on Tuesday is going to be very interesting just to see where Arsenal are in comparable to Real Madrid. I think Villa PSG will be interesting as well, but I think the Premier League does suffer from its intensity, and I think it can burn out towards the end of a season. I wouldn't mind seeing PSG win it. Hi Mark, off topic, but watched the morning show on the United stand, says Patrick. Saw Chelsea and United duelling for targets. Didn't Vival work with Chelsea as well? Might be another reason why we're looking at similar targets. He did. He was there for a short period of time. There's something going on with Man United and Chelsea, and I think it's more coming from Man United's side. It's almost like they're obsessed with them. Every player Chelsea are looking at, we're looking at. Obviously, Sir Jim Radcliffe tried to buy Chelsea. Vival basically got sacked by Chelsea, and it's almost like there's some sort of personal vendetta thing going on. Yeah, but apparently we're confident that we'll beat them to Delap. Four minutes of stoppage time. Thanks for your super chat, Patrick. Wolves and Ipswich will be interesting. Yeah, well, Robbie's got a bloody point here, hasn't he? Incredible. Never should have been a draw. Referees ruined that. Champions League coverage in America has been horrific. Have to subscribe to a streaming service no one uses, says HBN. Are you going to do Chelsea or Liverpool tomorrow, says Max? No, because it's Manchester Derby, isn't it? So I'll just do that. 2 minutes to go here. Corner to Arsenal. Newcastle, Leicester on Monday. Nah, too obvious. We'll do Villa Forest at R5 and then probably Champions League on Tuesday, probably the next one after that. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner if you haven't. Thanks everyone who's tuned in. Probably the last play of the game, this. And you know, when you look at it, it's another 2 points drop for Arsenal, isn't it? I mean, they know they're not going to win the league, but they've taken 2 points from Everton this season. Chelsea done by UEFA, says Leaf. Channel says we literally started the B team. It's not true though, is it, mate? You didn't start your B team at all. Other dead game and dead Premier League this season. Let's hope next year is better than this, says Bray Carl. What's going on with this referee now? What's he doing now, this ref? I think he was gonna call time, and now he's not. He's saying play on. There might be another chance for Everton. I think he's putting himself up front. Yeah, the referee's just took his shirt off. There's an Everton one underneath. He's gone up front. Rare will catch that easy. Surely he'll blow now. Mate, that referee was absolutely terrible. I mean, I'm no Arsenal fan, but bloody hell. I'm glad that's over. Absolute clown. That referee may as well be walking around in big red boots with a big wig and clown paint on. Absolutely terrible. Just terrible. Not a great game either. Right, we're back at 5:30. It will be a better game because they're racing for top 5. But, yeah, Mikel Arteta just taking all his players away from the ref. They just... Just an absolute crazy penalty decision, really. And they're idiots. They're basically idiots. Howard Webb should be sacked. I mean, you know what? Just before I go, we were talking about this with Robbie yesterday. Howard Webb should be sacked. Like, he should be sacked. This season has been an absolute car crash, and he is the guy in charge. He should be sacked, and yet he won't be sacked. He should be gone. Like any other organisation, if you kept doing this sort of stuff, you, as the boss, would lose your job. And he won't get his job. He won't lose his job. So they'll just keep doing it. And this is the problem. Nobody does anything about the officiating, so they stay in place. But if you sacked Howard Webb, everybody in that organisation would go, oh my God, we are accountable. There's no accountability. So they will keep doing the same thing over and over again. In any competent business, Howard Webb would get sacked. Someone else would be brought in to make sure these things don't happen again. But nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens. It's the same every bloody week. It's boring. Anyway, back at 5:30. Take care, everyone. I'll speak to you all in a bit.